course, you are, sir. You are welcome. How are you doing? Enjoy this music by Oporia on coronavirus. Hey, Olayomi Cookie, I salute my brother. How are you doing? The president is exercising his talent, you know. Bishop Stephen 24, I salute, sir. Wow. Big men are on the platform. Magdalene Kufo, I salute. Enjoy this music. And please share, please. If you're on the platform, please share. How are you doing, Magdalene? I hope you are doing well. Please, let's share this, please. Yes. Just a quick share, then we go straight into business. Senior Francis Akwe, I salute, sir. I salute, boss. Emmanuel Bossa, I salute.
Washing them frequently with soap and water, all hand sanitizer. What is the incubation period of COVID-19? It is clear that symptoms are showing up in people within 14 days of exposure to the virus. What are the symptoms of COVID-19?
We're just going to straight to business.
COVID-19 symptoms include cough, fever, shortness of breath. In rare cases, COVID-19 can lead to severe respiratory problem, kidney failure, or death. If you have a fever or any kind of respiratory difficulty, such as coughing and shortness of breath, call your doctor. Asia to Europe. Europe to America. America to Africa.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Step Out with Oscar Bimpong, and this is your man, always trying to inspire hope, always trying to cause you to believe, always trying to let you understand that it's possible. That is my mandate. My mandate on the earth is to change mindset. That is my mandate, and that's what I've been trying to do. It's not an easy journey, but it's an achievable one. Yes. B. Ibrahim says, boss player is on. I salute, sir. Nojo Francis, I salute all the way to Kumasi, man. Yes, a very good guy. Thanks very much for being in support of this vision. Nojo Francis, thank you very much. Yes, so we've been talking about opportunities in crisis the last 2 weeks, and we are still continuing. And the agenda is that, are there any opportunities in crisis? Because now we are in crisis. And are there any opportunities that we can really, really harness in times like this? And today we are on our part 4 of the series, and we are going to talk about the impact of crisis on your talent, vision, and business. What impact will crisis have on your talent, on your vision, and on your business? Now, what impact do we have, does coronavirus have on our lives? It's making a tremendous impact. With what I do, I normally need an audience for me to really do what I do. That is, as a public speaker, as a transformational speaker, I need an audience. Now, where are the audience? Meaning that we need to start changing the way we do things. And now we need to start really thinking, doing our business online. And that is the way forward now. A lot of businesses, a lot of people with their talent are really finding different ways of surviving in the market, not to even talk about thriving, that when this coronavirus is over, pandemic is over, they will be able to really continue with their business. So this is something that is really, really challenging. It's very difficult, but it's an achievable season. The reason why it's an achievable season is that we are not the first and we will not be the last to encounter crisis in pursuit of our vision. We don't know what is going to happen the next 2 years, the next 5 years, the next 10 years. Because when you look at pandemics has been part, recession and depression in terms of economies has been part of our lives all these years, all these centuries. Yes. Madeline says everyone has to open a YouTube so online business can continue to work. Yes, that is very important. Because you see, if the times changes and you don't change, you are the one that is priced out of the market. Because I can assure you that when Corona is over, the dynamics and the way we do business is going to change. I can tell you there are some people, they will never go back to the office, they will start working from home. Why? Because it's been tried and tested the last 3, 4, 5 months that it's possible some people can work from home. Some people don't need to be in an office, commute to the office Monday to Friday for us to see that they are working. Now, this is the test of time for businesses to really identify different ways of working. So I can tell you that the dynamics is going to change. Even now, Facebook is developing a system where transformational speakers and public speakers can charge, meaning that I can also charge for you having this free. At a point in time, you have to you'll be charged for it. So I think this is the best time for you to enjoy some of this our free stuff, because it will reach a time when you want to really even get us online, you'll be paying for it. So the dynamics of business, the dynamics of your talent is going to change just because of crisis. And crisis, that is what crisis does. Crisis brings change. Because you see, when human beings are on the same level of life, enjoying the same norm, status quo, they don't change. Until there is crisis, then eventually it sparks change. And what change does is that it moves our life on a different path. You see, if you are on the same path, doing the same things all over again, it means that you are going to get the same results. But whenever there is change, it brings what? Different what? Results. And you see, it's different results that takes you on a different what? Level. So the question is that if I've been earning $1,000 a month, I'll be earning £1,000 a month, and I continue to be in the same job, and there is no promotion, and being repeatedly doing the same things, means that I will continue to get the same results. Now, if I want to get more than £1,000, what do? There have to be a change. Meaning that I can change my job, I can improve myself, I can go on a personal development, I can go for more certification. They have to be changed. If there is no change, you cannot experience different results. So that means that in terms of the pandemic, we are going to experience different results in every sphere of our lives. And that to me is good. All of us are dwelling on the negative side of the pandemic, but I'm trying to dwell on the positive side of the pandemic. And the positive side on the pandemic is that the pandemic is bringing change, and change always leads to different results. And for you to experience anything different in life, all that you need is change. So obviously, the coronavirus impacting on your talent, that is your talent development and nurturing. The coronavirus impacting on your vision, the coronavirus impacting on your business is good. Because there is a saying that doing the same things and expecting different results is the definition of madness. Meaning that if you don't want to be called a person who is mad, what you need to do is to change. Because change is the only thing that brings what? That brings a difference. So the impact of the crisis on your talent and vision, you need to also think about what? A lot of business activities are more likely to come to a halt. Now, business activities have come to a halt. I was just reading, just before coming online, I was just reading an article where they say that a lot of people in the media in Ghana are really getting sacked, you know. They are being laid off, some are being told to go home, and there is a lot happening. It's not only in Ghana. Everywhere across the globe, people are losing their jobs. Why? Because business activities are coming to halt. So businesses are finding different ways of trying to survive in the market. And that is normal. You need to survive. So whatever it takes for you to survive, that should be done, you know. Then it also leads to loss of jobs. The impact of crisis on your television and business also leads to what? Your personal and talent development and nurturing will also be hit. There is a high potential of a vision coming to an end. Businesses are collapsing. I just watched a short documentary, how businesses are closing down in Italy. Businesses are closing down. Businesses that have existed for 100 years are closing down. Pubs and restaurants that have existed for decades are closing down. Why? Because they cannot be sustained in these times like this. So there is a negative impact. But I always want to skew your mind to the positive aspect of the whole show. And that is, however, is there a possibility to have the courage to fight the crisis leading to a different outcome? So I want you to have that mindset that, is there a way you can fight this crisis when it comes to your talent, your vision, and your business for you to have a different outcome? Is there a way out? There is definitely a way out. And that is where I want you to skew your mindset to. Stop concentrating on the negatives and start concentrating on the potential positives that can really turn things around for your good. Now write this thing down. Crisis kill a lot of dreams that, having developed the right mindset, plan and strategy to fight the crisis. Yes. Crisis kill a lot of dreams that, having developed the right mindset, plan and strategy to fight the crisis. Do you have a plan? What plan do you have during this coronavirus? Some of you might be here. You have always been talking about starting that vision, starting that business, starting that talent development year on year on year on, and it never happens. This is the time that even if you don't want to even start, you need to start putting a plan on paper. How much does it cost you for you to start planning? It doesn't cost you a penny. Why don't you invest by planning, preparing that vision, putting things on paper? What do you want to achieve? Why do you want to do what you want to do? And what outcome do you want? What impact do you want to make? What resources do you need to start? Are you able to speak to people that are already in the industry that are more likely to help you? This is not the time to sleep, and this is not the time just to eat and sleep. This is the time for you to do some investment in terms of planning. This is the time to work on your mind. I always say that you need to work on your mind before you work on your vision. Work on your mind. Working on your mind, what do you mean working on your mind? Surrounding yourself with people that are going on the same direction like you. Yes, surrounding yourself with people that are going on the same direction with you. Also, reading books. This is the time for you to be reading books. This is not the time for you to stay behind the television 24 hours a day. This is the time for you to be reading books, feeding your mind. If we feed our stomach the way we feed our mind, I can tell you there is no way we will be successful. If we feed our mind the way we feed our stomach, I can assure you there's no way you will not be successful. Many of us are not successful in life because we don't feed our mind. You see, too much of food brings an impact on your body. Now, when you eat too much on a consistent basis, what happens? You are more likely to grow what? To be fat. And that is the result of eating what? Too much food. What is the result of eating what? Feeding your mind too much. What is the impact? What is the effect of feeding your mind too much? The effect is that you're going to gain so much knowledge that there is no way you can fail in the industry that you want to operate. The question is, are we feeding our mind the same way we feed our stomach? This is the time for you to sit down, to learn and gain knowledge. Understand the terrain that you want to operate. Understand the vision that you have at hand. What do you need? How can you build a strategy to really outwit your competitors? How can you stand out in the marketplace? This is the time for you to do a lot of reading, and this is the time for you to connect with the right people. Now I'm going to give you some example of some businesses that really started in times of crisis. Yes. Let me see if I can turn this thing around here. Yes. I'm going to give you some examples of businesses that really started in times of crisis, that really started in times of depression, that really started in times of recession. And today they are multi-dollar businesses. And these are some of the things that should give you inspiration. For me, one of my biggest inspiration is that whatever I want to do, if I've seen people already in the industry that have been able to be successful, it really makes it easier for me to understand that if they can do it, I can also do it. Who is your source of inspiration in the market that you want to operate? Who has done what you want to do, that there can be a roadmap for you to succeed? Many of us start businesses, many of us start our talent development, and we seem to be like an island thinking that we can do it alone. You cannot do it alone. They say if you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to go far, you go with people. Why is it that if you want to go far, you go with people? Because when there are challenges, those people can hold you and help you to stand on your feet. Those people will say, look, they will encourage you. Those people will tell you that it can be done. So I'm going to give you some few examples of businesses that started in crisis, during the time of crisis. And I want you to write this thing down before I go on to that. The best time to prepare your business or to start that your vision or talent development is during crisis. The best time to start is during crisis. And the best time to succeed is during crisis. So there are three ways that has been highlighted here. The best time to prepare, the best time to start, and the best time to succeed is during crisis. Are you prepared? That's the question. Are you prepared? You see, there are people that I meet yesterday. They were so much enthusiastic about their vision. You meet them today and they still haven't started. And I asked them, have you even started preparing for it? They said no, because I haven't got to ABC, I haven't even started preparing. One thing I want you to understand is that it doesn't cost you to prepare. It doesn't cost you to prepare. If you have got a vision and you want to start, it doesn't cost you to prepare. Yausika says in every crisis there are opportunities. Yes, in every crisis there are opportunities. The only difference is that we dwell on the lack of opportunities, we dwell on the negatives to the detriment of what? Of the positives. So it doesn't matter what is happening, you need to prepare. So today I want you to start preparing for that vision. Prepare. Start putting things on paper. Start talking to people that matters. Start your website. Start your Facebook pages. Start the things that matter. And if possible, start. Let people know what you want to achieve. Broadcast it to people. Send it to people. Let people give you feedback. Start working on it to make it better. If you have developed an app for blind people, this is the time for you to send it to the blind people, for them to test it. Whatever you want to do, just connect with the target market. Before COVID is over, you have really got a product for yourself. So I want to ask you, what are you doing in this COVID season? What are you doing? You know best what you are doing. You have the best answer. You see, one thing that people they need to understand is that excuses never solve any problem in life. You can continue to give excuses, but I can assure you, you continue not to have an answer. Answers only comes from you starting. Now I'm going to talk the first company I want to talk about that started in crisis, during crisis, is the Hewlett-Packard computers. Now this company was launched in 1939. And in 2019, its revenue was $58.8 billion. But let me tell you how it started. That is during the recession in 1937 and 1938, one of the worst recessions in our generation. with GDP declining around 19%, William Hewlett and David Packard decided to start HP. So in the midst of recession, they decided to start HP Computers. Now, they incorporated the business in 1939, and they went on to build one of the most powerhouses in computers. So in the midst of recession, between 1937 to 1938, they decided to start HP. Now somebody is telling you this is not the best time to start your business, and you have bought into it, and because of that, whatever you started, you have brought it to a halt because somebody told you. You see, one thing I always ask people that tells me, Oscar, that is not possible. One thing I ask them is that if that is not possible, then what is possible? Tell me. You see, many of us, a lot of people have talked us out of our dreams, our visions, and the opportunities that was at stake for us. And you see, one thing I want you to put your mind to is that there are a lot of people, because they cannot do it, all they do is that they want to discourage you. And the point is that if they cannot do it, why should you do it? You see, when you are on the same level with some people, and all of you are struggling, all of you are really finding it difficult in life, life is not easy. The moment you decide to really move to a different realm that is going to let you be ahead of them, in their mind, they want to discourage you. So sometimes, a lot of you are not able to realize it because you take it so lightly because of the relationship you have with them. But I can tell you that most of the statement that they make, they mean it. But they just pass it in a sarcastic way that you don't really put your mind to. But you see, what the mind does is that when the thing is negative, the mind is so good at replaying it in your mind to the extent that before you realize, you give up. Especially when you start facing one or two challenges. Whatever anybody that told you that is not possible, you go back to it and it's like, wow, what they said was true. But it's never true. The only difference is that you are not ready to really what? Pass through the mill. Because for somebody to start a business in the midst of recession means that he's ready to battle. Many of us are not ready to battle. Many of us are not ready to battle. That is why we give up so soon. I want you to write this thing down. As no recession stays forever, or as no crisis stays forever, in the same way, this pandemic will not stay forever. So the pandemic is a season. And that season will pass away. We had winter a few months ago. Now there is summer. Seasons don't last forever. It has got a point that they will give way for another season to come. So my question is that though this crisis is not giving us the best, how are you preparing yourself that when this season is over, you can launch yourself into the world? That this is your new season. Now, some of us are waiting for us to lose our jobs before we go back panicking to start the business we wanted to start 10 years ago. Once you haven't lost your job in this season, I want you to have a plan B of starting your business on the side. You are waiting to get fired before you start your business on the side. Many of us will wait for far too long until we've lost everything before we take a step. I always tell people that, look, you have got 9 to 5 for your boss, for your employer, for you to deliver, for them to be successful. And probably along the line, you become successful along the line. But 9 to 5 is like 8 hours out of 24 hours. The 16 hours left, what do you do with it? 16, you see what you, when people say they are too busy and their business is just to invest 8 hours in somebody's vision, but they have got 16 hours to themselves, and that 16 hours they still think, oh, that 16 hours is not enough. So they right now accustom themselves to really giving excuses. I just wonder, because you can still be with your employer and still build your vision on the side. I always say that it means that you are driving and your employer is ahead of you and you are behind your employer. You are looking for the best time that the road will be very clear for you to overtake your employer and say, thank you very much for all that you have done for me. I resign and now I'm pursuing my own vision. Because you see, when you continue to invest your time in your own vision, it will reach a time that you will tell your employer that, look, I have got to the stage where your services is enough for me. I want to really provide my own services. The next one I really want to talk about is Microsoft. Microsoft was launched in 1975. 2019, its revenue was 12.8 billion. Now, during the oil crisis, in addition to stock market crash that led to a recession in 1973, around that time is when Microsoft started. So I want you to understand that you don't have an excuse. You don't have an excuse, because you see, the reason why you are really concentrating on the pandemic is that you lack knowledge. When I was researching and I came to see all these big businesses that started in times of crisis, I just told myself, God forgive me, because you see the lack of knowledge that my people perish. We are perishing not because we don't have the right resources. We are perishing just because we don't have the right knowledge. And let me tell you, whatever you are doing in this, our dispensation is the dispensation of knowledge. We are in the knowledge age. And you see, one person can give you one information and it can turn your whole life around. It's knowledge that we lack. We don't lack resources. Because resources can always be amassed. You can always partner for resources. Resources are always available. But what we lack is knowledge. So Microsoft also started what? During crisis. So I want to challenge you. Can you start your business during this crisis? Your talent development, can you start it during this crisis? I met a lady who is, she's a singer. She just started, she brought her single out. And I asked her, so now what are you doing during this COVID-19? And she was like, there's not much I can do. There's not much I can do because everything has come to a halt. And I'm like, there is much you can do. This is the time you have to let people know that you are a singer. This is the time you need to have a Facebook page for your singing. And you go on there 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week. Instead of sleeping, come out there and come and sing. Let people see the talent that you carry. Even in our generation, what makes it so easy is that it's not easy for people to even know what you are doing. Who would have known Oscar Bimpong if I'm just in my corner somewhere and say I'm a motivational speaker? Who would have known me? But now, somebody from India will send me a message. I follow you and you inspire me a lot. somebody from South Africa, somebody from Nigeria. Why? Because in our generation, there is a platform that is available for all of us, for us to exhibit what we do best. But are we maximizing that platform? No. Sometimes when I see some people, every picture they take, they use their back. Because they are beautiful, they get all the likes and they get all the comments, and that makes them happy. And I'm saying to myself, if you are standing there without your beauty, with your product in your hands, selling to people, and they are really commenting and liking it that way, and even if they are not buying at the time, but you have incorporated your business and your ideology in their minds, that one day when they are ready, you'll be the go-to person to go to. No. We are selling unnecessary things on social media, a platform that has been created for us, for all of us to exhibit our talent and what we do best. We are not just using it to the best of our ability and to the best of our knowledge. We are not. There are some people, when they are cooking, they will take a picture of what they are cooking and put it on social media. If you are a good cook, let people know that now you have started selling food. You see, the biggest problem we have is that we are selling the wrong things. We are selling the wrong things on social media. I have a guy who always sends me a spam. I don't want to call it a spam, but it's some message or something, an audio, or I don't know, it's some message. Every 4 a.m. I'm like, if this was a product that you are selling, and with your consistency of sending that message, probably you will be a millionaire by now. You see, until we shift our priorities, for us to know what we want, we will always be selling the wrong things. I want you to write this thing down. When everyone thinks impossibility, that should tell you is the best time to think possibility. When everyone, because now we are in a season where everyone, almost everyone, is thinking impossibility. It should tell you this is the best time for you to think possibility. Because if Hewlett Packard computers, if Microsoft can start in such a time as recession, then it should tell you that there is nothing impossible under the sun. I always tell you, impossibility means that I'm possible. Detach the I am from the possibility, and you have got I'm possible. And also you have to understand that possibility is found within impossibility. Meaning that in the midst of impossibility, there are still possibilities. I don't know whether I'm making sense. Possibility is being found in the word impossibility. Meaning that in the midst of impossibilities, there is still possibilities in it. It's all in the mind. It's all in the mind. If you can win it here, you can win it in real life. If you fail here, you have already failed in real life. Many have already failed, but they still don't even know they have failed. Why? Because here they have lost the battle. The battle is always lost here. It's not lost in the world, in the real world. So before this COVID-19, Some people have already lost the battle. So COVID-19 does not even make a difference. COVID-19 has even made them more to dwell in their comfort zone. Why? Because before COVID-19, they were already in their comfort zone. Then, if COVID-19 has arrived, then what happens? They are going to dwell more in their comfort zone because the negativity will far outweigh the positivities. Pastor Bernard Oentry, I salute. Now, another company that started in recession is FedEx. And when I was reading the story of FedEx, so the story of FedEx, Fred Smith, who is the founder, it was his project work at Yale University. And when he finished, he launched it. And that was a new project. It was a new business idea where people have to engage in terms of parcels and all that. And he really found it really tough, especially during the recession, starting that business. But today, FedEx is all over the place. FedEx is all over the place. FedEx, it was launched in 1971. And as of 2019, its revenue was 65.5 billion. And it started during the recession in 1969, between 1969 and 1970. And I just want to read something small about it. They say, though this recession was relatively short-lived and mild, Fred Smith faced major challenges trying to sell a new unheard-of type of service to a business community that was more hesitant than usual to spend money on untested vendors. Yet he was able to overcome the challenge and will go on to pioneer an industry and grow a business that in 2019 delivered over 6 million packages a day. I like this quote about Nelson Mandela, and I like saying this quote all the time. And I think it's one of the quotes that really changed my perception about facing challenges in pursuit of your vision. And that quote, I love it so much. I don't know how many times I've said it on speaking engagements and speaking with people, and I love it. It says it looks impossible until it is done. Of course, it looked impossible that for somebody to be in prison for 27 years, and we are saying that person will come out to become a president of a nation. It really looked impossible. But when it was done, everybody saw it to be possible. Now, I want you to understand that people will only see possibility if people initially now are seeing that it is impossible with your vision. Now, when your vision arrives and everybody is giving it the praise it needs, everybody is clapping for your vision, it is there people will say, this guy's vision looked impossible initially, but look at where he is now. And that is where it becomes a source of inspiration for people. Where are you dwelling? There are two stands. One is on the left, one is on the right. You have to make a decision where you stand. I have got to the stage where I have realized, I've got to the level where I always tell myself that I'm going to do what I do now till the time I die. I don't care what happens. People are thinking about, oh, you have to make it. No, I love what I do. So I'm going to pursue it. When you get to that stage, failure doesn't matter anymore. Challenges doesn't matter anymore. Because it doesn't matter what happens. Oscar Bimpong will go back and pursue the next day. Have you got to that stage? Or you are at that stage where if somebody tells you no, that shuts the vision down. that causes you to stop, that causes you to say enough is enough. Are you at that stage? If you are at that stage, or you have already given up, I want you to pick up the pieces and start all over again. Because I want you to understand that you can only become a testimony. You can only inspire others if you have fought battles. If you haven't fought any battles, then you cannot inspire anybody. Your story cannot challenge anybody. When Nelson Mandela stands to speak, it's not because he's the president or he's the prime minister of South Africa. He makes impact just because of his story. And the question is, what story have you got to share? Have you got any story that can inspire hope? Sometimes I share a bit of my story on social media and people will call me and they're like, wow, Oscar, we didn't know this. This has really inspired me. Why? Because you see, when the challenges, when it becomes tough, there are two options. The one option is to walk away. Another option is to find a way around it. And most of the times, the easier option is to walk away. So we just tend to stand on that option of what? Walking away. But if you walk away, how can you inspire somebody one day? How can your story challenge some young people to believe that if this is what you pass through and you are able to succeed, then I can also do it? That is what we want to inculcate in the minds of people. That your story should challenge other people. Your story should make other people restless. What story have you got to share? I always tell people that, you see, a lot of us want to hold the mic. We want to hold the mic and speak. But when we are given the mic, what story do we have to share? There has to be a story behind that microphone. What story do you have to share? If you don't have a story, then you cannot impact any life. And your story can be very intriguing. Your story can be very impactful. Your story can change mindset when you have fought a good battle. When it looked impossible, but you forged ahead, and your story now is a success story. And that is what people will look at and say, look, if this man can do it, if this woman can do it, I can also do it. Do we have such a story to share? It's all in the mind. The mindset that you have is critical to every sphere of your life. Let me go to the next one. Now write this thing down. What you see in times of crisis should not determine your future, but what you do must determine your future. I'm going to repeat that. What you see in times of crisis should not determine your future, but what you do in times of crisis will determine your future. It's very interesting, isn't it? Meaning that if you are idle during crisis, don't expect any different future. But if you are using this pandemic season to prepare for your business, to really connect with the right people, to really gather the necessary resources, possibly start that vision, then I can tell you, you can warrant a different future. My question to you now is, what are you doing in this season? What are you doing in this season? Now, the next business that started during crisis is IBM Computers. IBM Computers was launched in 1911. 2019, their revenue was $77.1 billion. But IBM Computers started during a season of crisis. IBM Computers, which was launched by Charles Flint in June of 1911, IBM got it started selling commercial and business machines right in the middle of a long 2-year panic, long 2-year recession. However, IBM grew to become one of the leaders in technology that will support the digital revolution, making billions along the way. So now we have talked about Hewlett Packard started in crisis season. We talk about Microsoft. We are now talking about IBM computers. You see, this should be your source of inspiration. That looking at the season these businesses started, and decades along the line, they are now a multi-billion-dollar businesses. Then it means that you don't have any excuse not to start now. Because we have got a prototype to use. We have got a case study to use. And this case study are showing that in the midst of pandemic, businesses can start. So now if anybody tells you that this is the worst time for you to start a business, you need to cite to them Microsoft. Tell them IBM computers. Tell them about FedEx. Tell them about the businesses that started during recession, depression season, or pandemic season. You have got a case study to give you the confidence that if these businesses started during recession seasons, then it means that there is nothing new under the sun. So those that are saying that this is the worst time for you to start a business, you have got a case study against them to tell them that, look, though businesses are closing, some started during pandemic season and they are successful. I hope you are getting what I mean. What is your case study? I have got a case study now. Nobody can tell me that nothing can be started during this season. We are not talking about businesses that are multi-million-dollar businesses. We are talking about multi-billion. And they all started during recession periods at certain times in their life. I love this quote by one lady called Gloria Steinem. It says, clinging to the past is the problem. Embracing change is the answer. Clinging to the past is the problem. Embracing change is the answer. Now, COVID-19 has brought change. COVID-19 has brought change. Many of us don't like change. So we are still holding on to the past. And let me tell you one of the things that COVID-19 is going to bring. COVID-19 is going to shift businesses more online than on a physical space. So if all your ideology, all your mindset is to go and look for a shop and stock it and start that business, it is good. Because this is going to be a gradual process. But it is going to reach a time that businesses are going to really start going to skew more online. I just watched a documentary on BBC some time back, and they were talking about how people don't go to the banks anymore. And they interview a section of the populace, and some will say, I've not been to the bank 3 months, I've not been to the bank 6 months, some say the whole year I've not gone to the bank. Why? Because everything can be done online. Now, when you come to the UK, some years back, when you go to counter, you can have 6, 7, 8 people on the counter. Now, every counter that you go in the UK, every bank that you go, I can bet you have only about 1, 2, 3 people on the counter. Why? Because people are not coming to the banks. Whatever I would spend time to go and do in the bank, I can do it on my phone. So dynamics of businesses are changing. And the point is that if you refuse to change, you are going to be priced out of the market. Because change is the only constant thing in this 21st century. In our generation, we get bored so quickly and so fast. This is what I call it. You see, December, when your children are being given their gifts, when they get their first gift, they are so fascinated and they are happy. Within a few minutes, that gift is being put aside and they are waiting for the next gift. And the next gift comes. They get so excited. Within few minutes, they put it aside, waiting for the next gift. That is how our life is now in this our generation. People are always looking for the next change, for the next thing to happen. That is why the iPhones and the Samsungs are making money. Because every 3 months, people want the iPhone whatever plus, iPhone whatever plus. Why? Because we change so quickly. So our generation, the only constant thing is change. Thank you, Bishop Bernard Owenchi. Thank you. Change is so rampant. It's so rampant in our generation that I'm just really projecting the next 30, 50 years. Many of us are not going to get jobs. Why? Because we refuse to change. I just saw a documentary of a restaurant that they sell burgers. And this is what they do. They have got robots that turn the burgers around. You see, when a human being is standing by the burger and they are turning it around, sometimes they delay, sometimes they leave and go to the loo, sometimes they don't pay attention. But you see, when you program this robot burger turning machine, they can work 24 hours. Now, what you need to do now is to go and learn how to manage that robot. So if you still stay in that realm where you want to be the human being turning the robot, you have been priced out of the market. You see, the dynamics of this life is changing. And until you change to be abreast with time, you are always going to be on the bottom of the value chain. And no one pays well on the bottom of the value chain. The money that you are going to get, the resources that you are going to get on the bottom of the value chain is peanut, and it will never survive you in the marketplace. It will never survive you and your family. So change is constant. Now the next one I want to talk about, and I think Pretty will bring it to a close, is Disney. Now Disney was launched in 1929. And in 2019, its revenue was $69.6 billion. And the type of crisis that was, there was a 4-year Great Depression which started in 1929. So Walt Disney and his brother, Roy, introduced the world to Mickey Mouse via their short animated feature, Steamboat Willie. A year later in 1929, they incorporated Walt Disney Productions. And the brothers now, they are now running to the bank. They are successful. But Disney was launched during a crisis season. What are you launching this crisis season? What are you launching this crisis season? What are you doing in this crisis season? I've used 14 days to write one book this crisis season. I'm on another book. I just want to look back the next 5 years where that book will be selling $1 million. And I will be telling a story that this book was written during the coronavirus pandemic. And that will be an inspiration to somebody. What are you doing with your vision this crisis season? It's a question I want you to answer yourself. What are you doing? Are you maximizing the time? Are you investing more in your vision, your talent? that when this COVID season is over, you will launch yourself in a different way that people will ask, wow. The last one is General Electric, which started in 1892. And 2019, its revenue was 95.2 billion. It also started during crisis. So all these things are known businesses, successful businesses that started in crisis. I'm bringing this to a close. I want you to write this thing down. Your biggest asset to succeed during crisis is your tenacity of purpose and a winning mentality against all odds. I'm going to repeat. Your biggest asset to succeed during crisis is your tenacity of purpose and a winning mentality against all odds. They say quitters never win. Quitters, they never win. And winners never quit. If you want to be a winner, you need to be on a war front. You don't go to war and not fight and becomes a winner. And you don't go to war and just come back without injury. Whenever you are going to war, there can even be a potential death. Are you in the war zone of your vision? Are you ready to war that your vision, against all the odds against us, you will come out successful? Are you ready? I always say this, that all of us are born to be successful, but not all of us will be successful. I mean, majority of us will not be successful. Why? Because we are not ready to go to the war zone. What we want to do is that we want others to go to the war zone and their benefits, we will come and support them so that they give us X amount. And the war zone, I mean, in this sense, means that for you to sow and to harvest, there is the period of war, challenges, struggles, and difficulties. And that's what the farmer faces. But the farmer still go ahead and sow. And at the end of the day, what happens? They become the winner. That food that you ate today, somebody had to go to war on the farm on every single day for you to get that food to eat. Are you ready to do the same thing with your vision? That you will fight until your business becomes successful. I want you to write this thing down. It is not the pandemic or the crisis that is the obstacle, but your product and service offering. The question is there a need for your product and service offering? It is not the pandemic or the crisis that is the obstacle, but your product and service offering. They are the what? The obstacle. So don't concentrate on the pandemic, but concentrate on your product offering. What are you offering to the market? That is more important than the pandemic. Because I can tell you, some businesses now are making more money than unusual. Somebody is doing remittances, and that person is making more money this season. Why? Because physical location of remittances are shut, and everybody is going online. And because that person has positioned himself online already, the remittances has quadrupled. What are you offering to the market in this pandemic season? Is there an idea that you can develop that is going to fit into this pandemic, that is going to cause people to patronize your business, your vision, and your talent? You need to start something today. I always say this, that my messages is not for everybody. My messages, they are not for everybody. It's for people who says enough is enough. I am ready to fight the battle. I'm ready to start against all odds. It doesn't matter what is surrounding me. What matters is that I want change. It's all here. My editor just called me 2 days ago, and it was like, look, by next week, I'm going to finish editing your book. I was so happy, man. I was so happy. Mindset revolution, re-engineering the mind from prison to purpose. That book, you need to read it. Jesus Christ. I actually brag about it. But you see, I love the gift that God has given me, man. All of us have got a gift. All of us, we have got talent. All of us. I love what God has given me. I love it. You need to get that book, Mindset Revolution, re-engineering the mind from prison to purpose. That book is amazing, man. It's amazing. And we're going to work on this book. By the time COVID-19 is over, bam, we are launching it to the market. If you haven't read the book before, you have to read that book. You have to read that book, Mindset Revolution, re-engineering the mind from prison to purpose. If you've got a business, you need to buy it for all your staff. Because you cannot have a different mindset and all your staff have got a different mindset. They have to be aligned. They have to be on the same platform, on the same level. I like this quote by Ratan Tata. And it says, as long as there is that fire in your heart, you'll find a way. I'm going to repeat that. As long as there is that fire in your heart, you will find a way. That fire is your passion. That fire is your desire. That fire is your mindset. That fire is your belief system. As far as you have got this, you will find a way. Excuse me. There have to be a way for you. And that way means that if you are passionate, you continue to persist and persevere, you continue to push against all odds, you will find a way. We don't hang on to find a way for far too long. We just give up too soon. Many of you have missed the opportunity to be millionaires. Probably even me. Many of you have missed the opportunity for you to be great. Many of you have missed that one person that was supposed to help you. Why? Because that fire in your heart, it quenched. So you didn't find a way. You didn't find a way. Yes. I'm just bringing this to a close. And I want you to understand this. Believe in yourself. Stop listening to too many people. People that have not been to where you want to be, but they are advising you. Stop believing in them. And start believing in yourself. Stop thinking local and start thinking global. Because your vision is bigger than any country that you live in. Start taking action. Start preparing. Start taking steps. Start connecting with the right people. Continue to believe in yourself. Continue to have the right mindset. Never give up. Because giving up is for weak minds. Strong minds find alternative routes. Strong minds find different ways of doing things. Strong minds connect with the right people. Strong minds partner. And there is one thing I want you to understand. That learn to partner with people. It's not everybody that is worth partnering with. But look through and partner with the right people. That can sometimes launch your vision to where it has to be. Yes. Because sometimes you have stayed in a certain level for far too long, and you need the right people to come in to really progress you to another level. You need to be careful, but you need to start seeking for those people. Those people that have got the same vision as you, but they have got more resources or more ideas or more knowledge than you, that they can support, push your agenda to the world. I always say 100% market share is not the best. Let somebody come in and also invest. Some of us, we are still looking for the right people to really work with. Because there are some people, if they come into your vision, they can help spark it to the next level. I want to encourage you, and I want you to understand that impossibility is a word, and possibility is a word. But if you take action, impossibility drops, and possibility becomes alive. Because possibility is only alive in the actions that you take. But impossibility dwells in your inactions, and it causes you for you to dwell in that comfort zone. And that is where you always struggle. Believe in yourself, and also believe that it can be done. I want to thank everybody that joined me. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time. I love what I do. We are going to come out next week as well. This coming Saturday, we'll be coming your way with a powerful topic. Probably we might be talking about decision making and communication during crisis. Yes. And we're going to take this to the next level. I want to thank everyone. Yaosika says, let me read some comments. This is the best time to tap into your gifts, talents, and the things you are passionate about. Thank you, Yao. You're also doing a great job, my brother. He says, preach on. Bernard O. Entry says, while businesses and rich people are buying shares now, people were worrying and fighting about toilet rolls. Oh, my days. Because this is the best time. I follow Robert Kiyosaki very much, and he says this is the best time for you to buy shares. Because when COVID-19 and the shares start shooting up, this is where people become millionaires again. So, but some people are rather buying toilet rolls for lack of knowledge that my people perish. Quitters are no winner. A lot of people quit too early on their dreams. Yes, yeah, that is very true. A lot of people do. They quit so soon. Some people, somebody tells them that, no, I'm not giving you the chance. No, there is no way. Then they give up. I say to myself, that one person, even now in the dispensation of social media, I've got access to billions of people online. So if one person says no, this is about one person out of maybe 5 billion people. So why should I give up? Why should I dwell the success of my vision on just one person that told me no? And that is why I always tell people that some of us, what we do, there is a market for us all the time. Because sometimes I get so amazed that after speaking, sometimes I have to spend extra 1 hour with people, because people, you see that people are not receiving the right message. They are not receiving the right message that inspires them, that gives a clear-cut understanding of what they have to do. You are born for success. And I want you to share your story one day to the world. And through that, another person will be blessed. I want you to enjoy this music by Oporia, the Liberian president, on Corona. I love the song anyway. He's exercising his talent in the midst of the COVID, isn't it? Very interesting song. I wish you all the best and continue to be a blessing to your generation. Never give up.
Everything is possible. It could be your mama, your papa, brother and sister. Let's stand together to fight this deadly disease now. Walk on the wall and live with border uncertainty, no security. Everything is possible. It could be your mother, your father, even your sister. Let's stand together to fight this deadly disease now. From Asia to Europe, Europe to America, America to Africa. Take precaution this year. It could be your mama, your brother, sister, or father. Let's stand together. Mama Liberia. God bless Mama Liberia and the rest of the world.
In the midst of Corona, man, let's have some fun, man.
Coronavirus spreads via droplets. When a person coughs or sneezes, the droplets land on surfaces and are picked up on the hands of others and spread further. People catch the virus when they touch their infected hands with their mouth, nose, or eyes. It follows that the single most important thing you can do to protect yourself is keep your hands clean by washing them frequently with soap and water or hand sanitizer. What is the incubation period of COVID-19? It is appeared that symptoms are showing up in people within 14 days.
All right, and see you step by step.